Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I can't believe it's only 2 weeks till Mother's Day. I completely lost track of time and I just looked at my calendar and I was like, I need to get this tutorial done for you all. So I'm going to quickly show you this today and hopefully you'll be able to get the materials in time if you want to make the same as I do. So I'm going to be making a mother and daughter bow today. But for the mother bow, it's going to be a bag charm because I personally won't wear these sort of glitter style bows. But I do love a bag charm, so that is what I'm going to make today. I've gone for these fabrics here, so this gorgeous velvet in pink, this lovely glitter with roses on it, and it's got like a cream sort of off-white background, and I've had this off-white glitter for quite a while and I weren't that keen on it because I ordered it thinking that was going to be like a pure nice white glitter, and when it came it was like creamy. But I thought that actually goes really well with this because this hasn't got a pure white background. So that I'm going for these three fabrics. We've got our suede 3mm wide cord for our centre. And the charms we're going to be hanging on the cord are these cute little mother and daughter charms. So if you pop them together, look. Let me just do it so you can see it. You've got like a heart and you've got your mother and your daughter, so obviously the little girl can wear that one in her hair and the mum can have the other half hanging on her bag. I just thought these were so cute. Now I did get these from AliExpress and the shipping is usually around 3, I've known some people take 6 weeks, but usually myself personally things do come in around 2 to 3 weeks. That's quite good. But obviously Mother's Day is in 2 weeks, so I will try and find some links on Amazon and eBay for these or similar. I've got this hook for the bag charm with a key ring on it. I've got some wire. I just got this from my local craft shop. It's like a jewellery wire. And I'm just going to be using this. You'll see why when we get to it. The templates that we're going to be using are these ones here, and this is the beauty bow, and this is from Glitter Glitter on the Wall, and I'm using the 3.5-inch tails. So they're 3.5-inch or around 9 centimeters. The loop template for that is around 14.5 centimeters or 5 3/4 inches. And then this one here, which is either for the 2.5-inch tails or you can use it as the top loops for this one, and that is just over 4 inches or 10.5 centimeters. So that's for the top loops. So I've gone a little bit ahead here and I've already drawn around my templates. So I've used the larger loops on the pink velvet fabric. I've done the tails on the off-white fabric, the plain one, and I've also done some on the flowery fabric because on the keychains for the bags I like to back the tails, so I thought I'll use the flowery fabric to back the tails, so if the bow or key ring happens to swing round that's still got like a pretty finish. And then the smaller template I've drawn around on the flowery fabric also. Now I've already made the hair bow on a clip for the daughter, but I haven't added the charm yet because I want to show you how to do that. Now these clips are the ones my daughter prefers. She's got quite fine hair, and although it's quite long, it's just fine. And the ones with the teeth on, she say that they hurt her head, they sort of pull on her hair, she don't like them. So these are the clips she prefers. Now when you wrap your cord around these, this is just obviously quite thick. That's around sort of a 1mm thickness on this cord, so it does end up making the clip open a little bit, but that doesn't really affect it, but I will show you that when we get to it. So I'm going to cut these pieces out for my bow bag charm. I'll just show you on one of these how I cut things out. So I won't show you obviously all the cutting out because that will be a bit boring for you, but basically I line my scissors up and I cut inside the pen line. I don't have a disappear and ink pen or anything fancy like that. I just simply cut very close but on the inside of the pen line. So the pen line is not going to be showing on the underside of my bow. So I'm going to do that the same for all of these pieces. So here we have our pieces cut out. Like I said before, we've got the 2 tails, so we can back the tails with the keyring happens to turn around, and then you've got the other side of the bow showing. That'll still have a pretty effect. We've got the bigger loops and the smaller loops. We've also got a inch wide piece here which I cut as around 5 centimeters in length by 1 centimeter across, and that is to wrap around our center. We've also got the wire out ready, and we've also got our keyring ready, and I've got some tweezers and scissors next to me ready as well. So we're going to start by assembling our bow, but we don't want to assemble all of it. We want to start off with just our largest loops, which will be the bottom loops. So I'm going to bring these forward and just set these aside for now. So I'm going to take my hot glue gun and I'm going to hot glue on these tab ends and just bring those into the middle. Now, as I've said before, if you've watched any of my other tutorials, when I make these style bows, I leave a couple of mil or 1 millimeter overlap on this side. As a rule, you're supposed to fold it directly in half, but I like to just leave a little gap, so when it's on the front side, you've got no chance of seeing the bow from underneath, or less chance. So that is why I just leave a slight overlap from that front side. So it looks like that from the back, and that is the front. And then we're going to take our wire here. It's a little bit bent because it's been stored not very well. And we're going to place this behind our loops, and we're going to get our keychain, and where this join is, because we're not actually going to use it as a keyring, we're going to place that on there, and we want it so the opening part is facing downwards, and then we're going to start wrapping it around the center of this loop. And I'm just going to cut it and bring this piece up and through. And then take both of these pieces of wire to the back, and then you just twist those together. Now this is where you could do with some jewellery making tools, because you can get the proper pliers to do all the twisting with. I've never been a jewellery maker, so I don't own any of the tools, so I'm just making use of what I have. Now I'm just going to cut just above where I've twisted those together. And then using a pair of tweezers, excuse me, I'm just going to push that down so that's tight, and then curl this over just to keep that pointed end out of the way, like that. So it's nice and flat and it's curled out of the way, and that is just holding on this keychain really securely. That won't go anywhere. So again, I've got the opening part at the bottom there. So now we've got that part on, we can now continue with the rest of our bow. We're going to cover all of that wire, so you won't see that. So taking your next loops, we're going to glue those together. Again, bring the ends in, and I like to leave just a millimetre or so gap, so the front side is overlapping the back side. That is optional, you don't have to do that. That is just what I personally like to do. And then we can stick this on the top of here. So I'm just going to pop some glue across that centre. that up. Make sure if you've got a particular pattern that needs to be the correct way up, make sure the pattern is the right way up at this point. So your keychain is at the top. But with this rose pattern that don't matter, that can go any way up. So that's now on there, and that's covered that wire nicely. Now for the tails, we're going to back the tails. So I'm going to glue these two together, so the pattern side and the glitter side are both on the outside. So I'm going to start with the centre and then work my way outwards just to make it easier. So really carefully lining up that centre piece. And then if you've got any like little overhangy pieces of glue like that, just take a lighter and just go around that edge, and that will just melt those pieces of glue out of the way. Just neaten that up a little bit. I'm just going to trim this little piece off here. Because I hand cut, it's never 100% perfect. If you have got a die cut machine, obviously that will be a little bit easier to do this double layered tail, but being a hand cutter, you do sometimes get it slightly out, but that's not too bad. I'm happy with that. So if the bow swing about, you'll have this nice pattern on the back. So we're going for the plain side up on the bow, like we did on the hair bow. So I'm going to pop some glue across there. Lining that all up nicely on those tails. So this is now the underside, and that's the top side. And now we're ready to wrap our centre around. I may actually need a longer centre. Yeah, I cut this to 5 centimetres because that is what I would use on a hair clip. I went thinking straight. So yeah, you need a slightly longer centre for the keychain bow. So I'll just recut another strip. I just do this by eye, around 1 centimetre wide. I'll just go for an extra long, and then we can just cut off the excess. So this is ready to wrap around our centre. Just got a little piece of glitter on there. So I'm just going to start by applying glue on one end, and we're going to go through that keychain onto the back of that bow, and then bring that around the centre. I am going to pop a little bit of glue on here, as this is a keychain. This will get a lot of pressure on it, which is why I use the extra wire. That just gives that extra security. That wire's holding that in there really solidly. Whereas if I just use this strip, this would be up higher. You'd see the bulk of the ring in the centerpiece. So that is why I use the wire. Now before, I used to make these bows. I've been trying to perfect my keychains for ages, and I did use these before, and I just curled the end round underneath the bow. But then I discovered the wire method, and I tried it out, and yeah, it's just so much more better, and it works every time. And I like to use glitter fabric around my centre. If you use like a shiny leatherette around the centre, you'll have to use super glue, but because this is a glitter fabric, that holds absolutely fine with hot glue, so I'm confident that that is on there nice and securely. So if that's all hanging on your bag and it swings round to the back, you've got this nice pattern, not just like the underside of this. As you can see, that's the same fabric, but I haven't bothered layering it because obviously that's going to be in a hair. But with this you can then have that nice finish at the back. So that is the reason for my lining my tails. So they're the main parts of the bow complete, and now we're ready to add on our cord with our little charms. So I've cut 2 pieces of cord and I have cut these to 20 centimeters in length. Now that is just what I find works, 20 centimeters. Oh, it's actually just over 20, look, but yeah, around 20 centimeters is what I usually cut. I might actually need more for this. Again, I didn't take into account the extra bulk from the wire and the keychain. As you can see, you've got extra bulk on there. I didn't take that into account, but hopefully that'll still work, we'll see. So we'll grab our little charms. Now these have got a tiny little hole at the top. This is 3mm wide. So I'm just going to try and squidge that in there if I can. There you go. Just pull that through. So that's the mother one. And then the daughter one. Just going to wiggle that into there. Might have to just squidge it a little bit to get it through. There you go. And that is the daughter one. So the daughter one is obviously this one for the hair clip. Now, as I said before, the hair clip, it does end up leaving a little bit of bulk at the back. There's nothing you can really do about it because this has got some thickness. So I start off with my charm at the bottom and a little bit of length of the cord at the top here, making sure that the charm is facing the correct way up. So you've got this tail here, and then we're going to bring this piece around the back. Now when I pinch my clip, always pinch just the tail, not the loops, because you don't want to flatten your bow. So I'm just holding that in place and I'm popping this underneath my clip, but I'm going to slightly angle it diagonally. So this is coming out from the middle and this is now going up to this side here, the right hand side if you look at it from the front. So we've got it like this. Now taking the longer piece that you've just tucked under, you're going to then wrap that around the left side and then back underneath. Again, I'm just going to use my finger here to hold that in place, pinch open this clip, pop this under, and this time we're taking it over to the other side. So now that's coming down the right hand side, and then this last piece is going to go round and up from the middle. So again, I'm just holding it all together, using all my fingers, and this piece I want to come up through the middle. Now, as you can see, the clip is open because of all of these layers crisscrossing over at the back, but that is just how it is. There's nothing really you can do about it unless you only wrap it around once and then tie it, but I do like the effect with the 3 pieces. That is just how I like it. So unfortunately there's not much you can do about that, but I'll show you afterwards that it does still work. Now at this point I like to give it a pull, and that just tightens it all up. If you want to, you can pinch it open, give it another little pull, and that will just help it be a little less bulky when you've tightened it. And now we're ready to tie these two middle pieces together. So as you can see, I've got just enough. I am quite stingy and I cut it just to the right length. And when I tie it, I like to have it diagonal, so it comes out at an angle. And I only tie it once like that. Just make sure it's pulled nice and tight, and that shouldn't go anywhere. Angle it off a little bit. And then I'm going to just trim these ends. So this end I'll trim first, and I'm going to trim it at a diagonal angle, and I like to leave around 1.5 centimetres, say. I like it to just sit inside this top loop. So I'm going to cut it diagonally, and then I'm going to turn it upside down, and the same again. I'm just doing it by eye, around 1.5 centimetres. I'm doing the scissors so it's diagonal against that cord, and then snip. So that is the daughter one done. Now on these clips, they're quite bendable. So what I like to do is just bend these ends over slightly. And then I do find that that will sit in my daughter's hair, and that will hold in absolutely fine. Like I said, she's got fine hair, but she's had these in before with the charms around the centre, and she's worn them all day and they've not come out. They're absolutely fine. So that is how I do my cord around my bows of my little charms. And now we're ready to do our keychain. Now, like I said, I might have to cut another piece a bit longer because I didn't take into account the bulk. So yeah, let that be a little lesson for you guys. I didn't cut the cord long enough. I cut both pieces to 20 centimetres because I know that works on the bows. I did not take it into consideration the extra bulk from the keychain. So I'm going to recut a piece of cord 24 centimetres just to be safe. So we've got a piece here, and this is 24 centimetres. Right, so try again. We're going to start from the bottom. You don't have to really put your charm on right now. You could put it on last before you tie it, but I'll just pop it on now to save trying to keep it all in place while you're threading it on after you've wrapped it all around the middle. So we've got our charm on and it's hanging the correct way. I've got enough here that I'm happy to tie with, so I'll leave a little bit of length there. So that is coming out from underneath in the middle. We're going to bring this piece round through the keychain and over the left side, and then back in, crossing over at the back, and then over the right hand side, and then back round, crossing over all of these and finishing off in the centre. So this is the front and this is the back. So I've got this all in place, and I'm just going to give that a tug to make sure that's all nice and tight. And once you're happy that is nice and tight, we're going to make our tie in that centre. Again, just one knot, just one tie, bringing it out so it goes diagonally. Just going to slide these across a little bit, and then I'm going to chop my ends off at an angle. So grab my scissors. Again, I'm going to do it by eye, but around 1.5 centimetres. So it's just inside these loops, and a diagonal cut like that. Flip it the other way, same thing, just inside those loops, about 1.5 centimetres, diagonal cut. When I say 1.5 centimetres, I don't mean 1.5 centimetres cut off. I mean this bit here is around 1.5 centimetres. There you go, look. And there you go. There you have your finished mother and daughter bows with the little charms in the middle. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial today. If you did, please hit the like button and also subscribe to my channel and press the bell button to turn on notifications. If you've got any questions, pop them into the comments below and I will try to get back to you as soon as I can. Thank you everyone. See you soon. Bye.